Relationship abuse is not always about bruises or visible scars. Often it's far more subtle, weaving itself into the daily interactions between two people until it becomes almost invisible to the outside world and even to the one experiencing it. Abuse is not just physical. It can be emotional, verbal, sexual, financial, or psychological. It's about power and control, about one person dominating another in ways that strip away confidence, independence, and safety. Sometimes it's loud and aggressive, but many times it's quiet, hidden behind closed doors in whispered threats, controlling gestures, or manipulative words. To truly understand what relationship abuse looks like, you have to see beyond the obvious signs and recognize the patterns that create fear and dependence. In many abusive relationships, control is at the center. This control might start small, disguised as concern or love. For example, a partner might insist on knowing where you are at all times, framing it as worry for your safety. They may tell you what to wear, who you can talk to, or where you can go, claiming they only want the best for you. Over time, these suggestions become demands, and your freedom starts to shrink without you fully realizing it. What once felt like love now feels like a cage. This controlling behavior can escalate into monitoring your phone, reading your messages, or tracking your location without your consent, leaving you with little to no privacy. Emotional abuse is one of the most common, yet most misunderstood forms of relationship abuse. It's the cutting remarks disguised as jokes, the constant criticism that chips away at your self-esteem, or the way they make you feel like nothing you do is ever good enough. This abuse is designed to make you question yourself and rely more heavily on the abuser's opinion. They might gaslight you, making you doubt your own memory, perceptions, or sanity. By denying things they said or did, twisting facts, or telling you that you're imagining things. Over time, this creates confusion and self-doubt so deep that you start to wonder if you're the problem, when in reality, the problem is the manipulation itself. Verbal abuse, though often dismissed as just words, can leave wounds that last much longer than physical injuries. It can include shouting, name-calling, humiliating comments, or constant put-downs meant to make you feel worthless. Sometimes it's overt, like yelling in your face during an argument. Other times it's subtle, delivered in a calm but cutting tone that leaves you shaken. The goal is always the same: to intimidate, belittle, and control you. This kind of abuse often makes you dread conversations, avoid expressing yourself, or walk on eggshells to prevent another verbal attack. Financial abuse is another powerful tool of control in a relationship, yet it's one of the least talked about. It happens when one partner takes control over all financial resources, limiting the other's access to money and making it difficult for them to leave. This could mean refusing to let you work, taking your paycheck, monitoring your spending, or forcing you to justify every expense. Without financial independence, many victims feel trapped, unable to support themselves or their children if they try to escape. This economic control reinforces dependency, making the abuser's grip even tighter. Sexual abuse within a relationship is often hidden under the false belief that consent is automatic between partners. But true consent is always freely given, enthusiastic, and can be withdrawn at any time. Sexual abuse occurs when one partner pressures, coerces, manipulates, or forces the other into sexual activity against their will. It might involve guilt-tripping, threats, or using affection as a bargaining chip. Sometimes it's framed as a duty or obligation in the relationship, but forced intimacy is never an expression of love. It's an act of control and violation. Isolation is another tactic abusers use to maintain power. They slowly cut you off from your friends, family, and support systems. At first, it might seem like they simply want more time with you, but over time, you notice that you're seeing your loved ones less and less. They might create conflicts with people close to you, criticize your friends, or make you feel guilty for spending time with others. The goal is to make you more dependent on them for emotional support, advice, and validation, ensuring they are the center of your world and the only voice you hear. Psychological abuse is about eroding your sense of self and stability. It can include unpredictable mood swings, silent treatment, intimidation, and manipulation of your fears and insecurities. The abuser might intentionally create chaos, keeping you off balance so you never feel secure or confident. They may withhold affection as punishment, or use your vulnerabilities against you. Over time, this can lead to anxiety, depression, and a deep sense of worthlessness, making it harder to see a life outside of the relationship. One of the hardest things about recognizing relationship abuse is that it often comes in cycles. There's a pattern that many abusers follow: building tension, an abusive incident, a reconciliation phase, and then a calm period. After an outburst, the abuser may apologize, promise to change, and shower you with affection. This honeymoon phase can create false hope that things will get better. But without real accountability and change, the cycle begins again. This pattern traps many people in abusive relationships for years, because they cling to the good moments, believing they outweigh the bad. It's also important to understand that relationship abuse doesn't always start at the beginning. Many abusers present themselves as loving, attentive, and kind in the early stages. They might move the relationship forward quickly, showering you with compliments and gifts, making you feel like you found your perfect match. This is sometimes referred to as love bombing. Once they've secured your trust and commitment, the abusive behaviors begin, often so gradually that you hardly notice the shift until you're deeply entangled. Abuse can happen to anyone, regardless of gender, age, background, or status. It doesn't discriminate, and it's not limited to romantic relationships. While the focus here is on intimate partnerships, these patterns can also appear in friendships, family relationships, and even workplace dynamics. The common thread is the imbalance of power and the use of manipulation, fear, or coercion to maintain that imbalance. Recognizing relationship abuse is the first step toward breaking free from it. It's about noticing the red flags, the controlling behaviors, the constant criticism, the erosion of your independence, the fear of speaking your mind, and the isolation from people who care about you. It's about trusting your instincts when something feels wrong, even if you can't fully explain it. And it's about understanding that love should never make you feel unsafe, silenced, or diminished. Relationship abuse looks like many things, some obvious, some hidden. But at its heart, it's about stripping away your freedom, self-worth, and security for the sake of someone else's control. It's about using fear, guilt, and manipulation as tools to keep you in place. And while it can be incredibly difficult to confront, naming it for what it is can be the beginning of reclaiming your voice, your boundaries, and your life. Love should never require you to lose yourself. And any relationship that demands your submission at the cost of your well-being is not love at all. It's abuse in disguise.